ladies and gentlemen.
Hi. I'm Leo Laporte. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your name, isn't it?
That's me.
Hello. Okay, hi.
Thanks. Good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Missed you. Thank you for joining us, folks. Coming up in today's show, we're upgrading the thing we built a year, and I can't believe we haven't upgraded this thing in over a year. Our ultimate gaming machine. And everybody is waiting to know Athlon or Pentium 3. We open the guts and we'll see what's inside today.
Oh, thank you for waiting until I got back to
I wasn't going to do this without you.
Oh, man,
You're taking some of the heat, too.
Hey, you know. Well, there you go. Also, I'm going to show you how to preview multimedia files using Explorer without special software.
One of the best Windows tips ever. You're going to love this.
Why, thank you.
Plus, our friends at PC Magazine have selected the best instant messaging systems. Instant messaging systems. You know, like ICQ or, you know, AIM. You're actually going to be surprised with what they pick. We're going to chat with them about their top picks.
Okay, and ask them what the heck they were thinking.
What were you guys thinking?
Today in the chat room. What's the big news story today?
AOL Time Warner. The big merger. What does it mean for consumers?
Oh, broadband and cable.
So AOL, 20 million users, biggest internet service provider in the world by far. Time Warner is music, video, movies, cable, and, of course, a bunch of magazines, CNN networks. It is a huge monster media conglomerate buying it. Actually, AOL's buying it, which is ironic. I mean, that just shows you how big the internet has become. Now, here's, I think, well, I'll get your take in a second. Here's my take on it.
All right, go for it.
I hate seeing this kind of consolidation. Now, you know, for ZDTV, frankly, it's great because what it does is it validates what we've been saying all along, which is the internet and television belong together. Broadband belongs with TV. It's a natural merger. So in a way, it validates, and it's a good thing for ZDTV. But as a consumer person, I think it's a terrible thing because I hate to see fewer voices. I hate to see these kinds of giant media conglomerates. These companies are going to get so big. You know, next it's going to be Yahoo, Disney, and then Microsoft, General Electric. And as they get bigger and bigger, pretty soon you don't even need governments. You've got corporations that are so big. Is that completely left-wing out of their radical?
I agree with you verbatim. I think the more that you narrow down the choices, the wider that you make these companies, the less voices you have, the worse it is for consumers. Right. Consumers need choice.
And the Internet, frankly, is the promise of the Internet is multiple voices of all kinds, not just a few voices dominating. Anyway, is this good for consumers? Is it good news? Is it bad news? Or... Poor Jane. Ted Turner is gonna be a
multi-gazillionaire.
I mean, he's already rich enough. Yeah. He's gonna be the vice chairman of the new AOL Time Warner. Oh,
he's gonna have to make out of Braves games with someone else now. So you can see what we think.
Take our web phone.
The screensavers.com.
And we kind of look like Ted and Jane. We'll go to the next Braves thing. We'll just do this.
We'll just go like this. While you're there, click on the talkback feature. What do we do for the Giants anyway? To express your opinions and, of course, the rest of the Screensavers community. I'll remove a rib and work out a lot.
Give us a call on the telephone. 888, I am not growing a cheesy mustache. 888-989-7879 or chat with us, chat.zdnet.com. And the Screensavers room is where everybody is. That's what the party is.
That's what the party is, unless, of course, you have a net cam. You want to be in the party, you want to be on the party, you want to be on television, click on the Netcam Cineplex, because today, I mean, come on, we got Shannon in there. Look at this, the AOL Express, huh? No prenup? Okay, well, Tracy and Brad and Shannon. Is that Tracy's first time in the Netcam?
No, we've already hazed her. You missed the hazing.
I missed the hazing. All right, well, they want choice. So give them a choice of yourself or someone else.
I got the Ted Turner wig, though. I mean, this is the Ted Turner model, believe it or not.
I like it.
You like it?
Get yourself a magnet. As seen on our fridge.
Who's in the fridge?
Josh. He's in the skipping fairy costume that Colleen wore. Remember the skipping fairy? She had the big tutu. You missed the tutu in that picture on the fridge.
This is San Francisco. I'm not going to comment. Christopher joins us on the ZDTV 3Com Netcam Network from Greer, South Carolina. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Christopher.
Hey, Kate and Leo. How you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing great.
Oh, yeah, you too.
What's up?
I was upgrading an old 486 computer from my church.
Yes.
And
do you have a monkey or a small animal?
Or a puppet?
Is he crawling up my back again?
What?
Who is that?
This is Monkey B.
Hi, Monkey B.
Hi, Monkey B. Oh.
Is Monkey he's very...
Okay.
Is Monkey being operated by you, your wife, or a child?
That's Mom back there.
Your mother?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, my goodness.
I was going to be on TV. She had to be here.
Mom is a spirited person.
I'm a little worried about you, Christopher. You're trying to get through the call, but you got this monkey on your back, man.
So he's got a 486. He's renovating for the church.
All right.
And the connectors for, like, the reset switch and the speakers and all that connect to the motherboard, none of them are labeled.
They're not labeled?
Oh, man.
And I was wondering if there's some, like, standardization in the colors of the wires that will help me find the reset switch.
None at all.
Is it all trial and error?
None at all.
Can you get a map for his motherboard from the manufacturer?
Yeah, that would be the best thing to do is if you could figure out who made the darn thing to go to their website and see. A lot of times they still have the schematics on there, or you might even be able to download a manual. Do you know?
Uh-huh.
Do you know who made it? Probably not.
It looks like a Gold Star, but I can't tell.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it. You know, try to find a motherboard that looks as much like that one as possible. And then just trial and error. I don't think you could hurt anything. Let me think.
Yeah.
Could you fry it? I don't think so.
No.
Well, I have the motherboard manual. It's the case that's confusing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know where they are on the motherboard. You don't know. Oh, well, that's easy to do. You just follow. What you do is you just follow the leads from the switch, right? It's not that hard.
I tried that. It's kind of confusing.
Is it? Because
they've got all the wires clumped together, connecting to the back of the switches, and then they just kind of branch out, and it's hard to tell which is which.
If you could take the face off the computer.
Dude. Okay. Anyway, if you could take the face off the computer, you can see right here.
Don't do it like that.
In some kind of different way. Where's reset switch?
Here's the reset switch.
Here it is. Now, we don't have the side open. Maybe we can take a look at that later when we're looking at the inside of it.
Yeah, you just really, there's going to be from this light and from that light and from the reset switch here and it's a little dusty and the power switch here, there's going to be, wires coming off of that. So you should be able to follow those. And at the very least, you should be able to see what color they are. And as you have observed already, they are different colors. Mm-hmm. So I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, the harder problem would be figuring out where to connect it on the motherboard. If you already know that, then it shouldn't be too hard to figure out just by following those wires.
And just, get someone else to stand over your shoulder and say, am I still on it? Am I still in the same place? Am I there? Just have me watch with you. Seriously, that's what I do. I'm like, am I still holding the same string? So it should work.
Okay, Christopher?
All right.
Okay, Christopher, good luck with the connection and good luck getting that monkey off your back, man.
Thanks, Kate Leo.
All right.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. Wow.
Okay. You think it really was his mother, or was it kind of a Norman Bates thing going on?
I don't even want to know. He'll be calling us back again with a net cam with a light bulb over his head. After the break, learn how to preview multimedia files right out of your favorite Windows folder when the screensavers continue. Mother! It's time now for the Happy Joy Weekly Windows Tips.
Ooh, I love this part.
Oh, saving you from carpal tunnel one click at a time. This week we're going to preview multimedia files in your favorite folder or in my computer, and we're going to give thanks to Scott from Staten Island, New York, for this really great tip. So screensavers, T-shirt or cap is on its way to you. I've got an Anakin on my back. Mother, quit it.
I love you. Get off. Whoa.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. Now, let me show you how to do
this is a good tip. You're going to actually want to do this.
This actually is a good tip. First of all, you have to have 95. Now, it says 95 or 98, but I think it's only going to work in 98 with at least IE4 installed. So open up your, My Documents folder, for instance. Now, here's my Multimedia album folder. If you go here and you click on, say, a GIF, you get a thumbnail. Now, that's if you have View as Web Page turned on, which I do. So, fine. You can go around, look at your thumbnails. There's your JPEG.
Maximize the window so
let's do that.
Yeah.
Look at your thumbnails.
Oh, that's attractive.
Isn't that cute?
I love that.
Santa puppy, all this kind of stuff. But when I click on an MPEG,
no video.
Nothing happens. So, what if I want to look at that? Let's take a look. Now, you go to your View menu and go to Customize this folder.
Now, this is a feature that actually Microsoft built in, but disabled for reasons unknown. I think because of performance issues.
There are performance issues. It can slow things down, but I'm still going to show you how to do it.
If you have a fast enough machine, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't make a difference. Go to Create or Edit an HTML document. Hit Next, and what it's going to do now is actually bring up in Notepad the folder.htt file and all of the things that go with it and all of the options.
This is a complicated JavaScript file. You don't want to mess with this unless you know what you're doing. We're going to show you exactly what to look for.
We're looking for an exact key. If you search and find, look for the key, want media.
Want media. I know that sounds weird.
Want media. Do I want media? Yes, I do. So now let's take a look. If we go down, here it says, want media, false. Now note the caveat from the programmer. Cool, but may hinder media file manipulation.
We haven't seen any problems with it.
I haven't had any problem with it.
I have to tell you, in Windows 2000, the default is on this. And it is a really, I've become just like a big fan of this.
You ready? This is so cool. Now, click on, here we have the GIF. Hello, wake up. The MPEG.
You actually get the Windows Media Player. Any file the Windows Media Player can play.
And here's Linda and Amarillo.
Look at that.
Hi, I'm Linda West from Amarillo, Texas.
You even get audio.
Don't touch that dial.
Isn't that great?
The screensavers will be right back.
So I can do that.
Click on an MP3. This is an MP3. What happens then? It doesn't play back MP3.
No, I think it only does it with certain associated Windows media types.
Right.
However, for those of you...
MPEGs, AVIs, and Waves, it will do it.
And Waves. And it might even do QuickTime files. I'm not sure. We'd have to check that out. But as you can see, folks, it's pretty quick. It's really simple.
Love that.
I love that. For my own machine, I do store Vmails. I do store little video files. So it's really helpful for me, and I hope for you.
All right.
So thank you, Scott.
Visit the website. You can get all the details on that.
Screensavers.com for the instructions and my great email from Scott in Staten Island for this Windows tip.
Hey, everybody. Kate is heading out to chat. Speaking of chatting, we're going to take a look at the best chat clients and instant mail messengers for home and business when the Screensavers continues. Stay right here.
We're going to chat?
Chat. Oh, where's the... Screensavers.com. Best place for information about what's on the show. Hey, the show notes are now online. The day after our daily email goes out, which happens right after the show, the next day you can get all the details about the answers to live calls we take on that show and a lot more. Anytime we get an afterthought about the show, we put it in the email, and now you can see it online at Screensavers.com. Well, ICQ started instant messaging, and it's taken off as quickly as a way to communicate with others. But let's find out how the chat instant mail clients stack up. And to do that, we're going to check in with our friends, yes, believe it or not, at PC Magazine. Joining us right now, Ben Gottesman, executive editor at PC Magazine from East Brunswick, New Jersey, live via Netcam. Hey, Ben.
Hi, how you doing, Leo?
Did you hear us say happy birthday to you?
I missed that.
Oh, all right. Well, we did. Wasn't your birthday about a month ago?
Yep.
Well, we said happy birthday. Who was here? I can't remember who it was that was... Oh, Alfred Poor was here, and he said,
It's kind of scary, actually. What else do you know about me?
I know much about you, Ben. Here's the thing that surprised me. PC Magazine is a very respected, serious magazine. Usually you cover software that's usable in business, and here you are covering instant mail messengers?
That's what we're covering, but if you saw the title of the article, it's Chat Goes to Work. What we're saying is instant messaging has really caught on like wildfire among consumers, and everyone's talking to each other with instant messaging now. But is this a practical business tool? And we're seeing that, yeah, really it can be.
And your conclusion is yes. That's kind of now the category. I said ICQ started, and really I guess America Online should deserve some credit because their buddy lists on America Online really what people gave the idea. A window would pop up, and people that you were friends with, you'd know when they were on America Online or not, and you could click on their name and chat with them, things like that.
Right.
ICQ duplicated the functionality for the worldwide internet, and now there's quite a few clients. Which clients did you check out?
We looked at 6 different programs. We looked at AOL and ICQ, which of course is owned by AOL, so they own huge amount of the market.
Right.
We looked at Microsoft's Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, Powwow, and also we looked at a product that's corporate only, and it's Lotus Same Time. Interesting product.
Are there other corporate-only products like that?
There are several other corporate-only products. We looked at 2 others in the story. ICQ has a version that's just, it's called ICQ Groupware, and it's just for running on your intranet. They haven't updated it since 1997, but they keep it up there on their website, and it actually turned out to be a pretty nice program.
Even though it's a few years old.
Yep, and there's also a version of Powwow that's for private networks.
Now, truthfully, you could use the public network ones on the private network work too, right? They work just as well on land.
Definitely, and that's what we expect most people will do. But some people want a little more control over that. Don't want. First of all, they may not want their employees going out to the outside world.
Right.
They see this as a good tool, but it can get carried away.
Right. Yeah, people start chatting with people outside the work. It kind of cuts down on productivity.
Exactly.
So you mentioned quite a few of them, 6 in fact. Which one did you like the best?
We liked, on the public network, might be a little bit of a surprise, but our favorite here was Powwow 4.0.
Which is now called I'm Here, right?
Well, it's an interesting one. Powwow is private labeling the product.
Right.
So if you can get it off of AT&T WorldNet site, which is att.net.
And that's the version we're showing right now.
And that's called I Am Here. They also have a version for AltaVista, and if you go to AltaVista's main page and you scroll down, you'll see something called the Messenger Beta.
Right.
This is also Powwow 4.0.
Oh, interesting.
The odd thing is Powwow 4.0, the tribal voice version, is not shipping yet and should be available in a couple weeks.
So they're a little behind on their versions.
Right.
Are the functionality basically the same?
Functionality is virtually the same. The Powwow version will add some community features that will be very nice.
I see. And you can see we've been chatting with Ben, and we created an account, by the way, just for Ben G at ZDTV.
Right.
And so this is actually a little chat we had back and forth.
Right.
Now we're starting to get messages. Which is probably going to happen a lot. I'm going to turn off that dialogue. One of the things that happens when we start using these instant mail messages is that everybody who's watching the TV show starts to message us. That's one of the advantages, though, right?
That can be a nice thing. It works two ways. I think in business, sometimes you're going to want some of the tools where you can hide yourself a little bit.
What are some of the things I can do with I Am Here or Powwow?
Well, one of the nice things on the I Am Here is interoperability. You can chat with other Powwow users, but you can also chat with AOL Instant Messenger users. And another one, you can actually chat with Microsoft Messenger users.
Now, wasn't that controversial? I remember when Microsoft did that, AOL blocked it, then Microsoft changed it, they blocked it, it went back and forth. Has AOL given up on letting companies like Microsoft and AT&T use their network?
Well, what it seems to be is that the Powwow folks have found a way around it that Microsoft did not. So Microsoft has actually given up on competing with AOL on this, but what they've done for right now is they're blocking people who have an ATT email address or a Powwow email address. So even though it's being offered by ATT WorldNet, those users can't use it.
Huh.
But you and me, who don't have that address, we can use it, and it's working just fine.
So we should probably not announce that, because now AOL is going to have to look for another way to block it. That's interesting. That means that's actually great, because it means you can use it across a number of platforms. And that's the thing I've always had a problem with all of these, is that they're proprietary, and so there's no kind of internet standard.
Right.
Is there a move in that direction?
Well, there's a proposed standard, but the problem is that you got to get AOL behind the standard.
Right.
I mean, who cares if all the little ones work with each other? If AOL's not on board, nothing's going to happen.
They're the big one, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, here's AIM, the AOL Instant Mail Messenger. Many people have seen it because it comes now with Netscape, so I don't suppose this is too unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's bundled with almost everything, it seems, these days.
Yeah, and of course, immediately people are instant mail messaging with me. I have to remind my team, when we install these things, block messages, please. We can never use these things. Oh, look at all of them popping in. All right, well, I'm going to probably have to close this in a minute. Tell me what you like about AIM.
AIM, the main thing we like there is its simplicity. It's just a nice, easy-to-use instant messenger, and that's critical with these products. If people are going to talk like this, it's got to be like the telephone. It's got to be that easy to use. Right.
Well, it's certainly easy enough to use for our Screensavers viewers. I just got about 100 instant messages just popped in here.
Right.
So of the two, you'll prefer Powwow, but both of them are pretty straightforward.
Both are very nice. We prefer Powwow. It's got some more features. The new version is much cleaned up over earlier versions. A lot of people, you mention Powwow to them, and they remember this old version with buttons everywhere.
Yeah. And how about ICQ? I'm surprised, because everybody, ICQ really is the one everybody knows, and it's probably the most popular, isn't it?
Right. ICQ seems to have an audience all its own. It's a huge audience. But you don't tend to find a lot of overlap between ICQ users and the AIM users and some of the other services. It's a very, very full-featured product. We found it somewhat difficult to use, and that's not ideal in a work environment. You want something that's just brain dead easy. What's ahead for these instant communication packages? Well, you're going to see more and more features. You're also going to see instant messaging integrated into more and more applications. We did an interesting sidebar that I'm sure you've seen lots of websites today. You go shopping and you're you have a question, you just click a button. Now you're in an instant messaging session.
Wow.
The Lotus Same Time product that we looked at has a nice feature where you could design a mail template. So if I send you an email message and you see I'm online, rather than replying to my email, just click my name, and now we're in an instant messaging conversation.
And productivity takes a nosedive. No, I guess these are useful in business, and that's the whole point of the article.
I think they definitely are. They'll save you a lot of time on that would have been spent waiting for responses otherwise.
Right, that's right. Good deal. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Ben Gottesman, executive editor from PC Magazine. Check out the January 18th issue of PC Magazine on newsstands now for the article Chat Goes to Work, and, of course, our website, thescreensavers.com, for more about instant messaging. Meanwhile, don't go away. Still to come on this very show, we biopsy the ultimate game machine to see what's inside. Ew. Also, more answers to your toughest computer problems, plus detect and protect yourself from port scanners. All that and more as the Screensavers rolls on.
Back to the Screensavers. I'm Kate Patello.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Today in the chat room, what does the AOL-Time Warner merger mean for consumers? We're going to give you three choices.
Yes.
Good news, bad news, and poor Jane.
So, you know, he would just wait until like 2 days after they announced their separation. Ted Turner, to announce this merger.
It's kind of, what's the amazing thing about this merger is probably the largest ever in the financial markets. The thing that surprised me, the one stat that kind of surprised me ever, and the whole bunch was that even though Time Warner is much bigger than AOL, I mean, revenues just dwarf AOL's revenues, AOL is much more profitable than Time Warner. AOL, I think last quarter was $1.25 billion profit in 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why AOL's buying Time Warner, and it's amazing to think about that these companies that were AOL 5 years ago, we thought they were going to go out of business.
Yeah, we did.
They were just struggling along, and now the internet economy is such that these companies are the powers. They're the ones going out to the old media companies saying, "Come on in."
Well, FYI, we're both voting B.
We think it's a bad idea.
We think it's a bad idea.
Consolidation and
limits choice, limits competition.
Yeah.
But we want to know what you think. Take our web poll, screensavers.com, and especially if you beg to differ, click on the talkback and tell us why you feel the way you do.
Yes, indeed. You can also chat with us at chat.zdnet.com.
But only if you talk funny like this.
Wade joins us on the Z. If we keep doing this, Wade's going to talk this way. On the ZDTV3Com Netcam Network from Waverly, Alabama. Hello, Wade.
Hello, Wade.
Hi, Kate and Leo.
How are you, sir?
Well, got a little problem.
Okay. That's what we're here for.
Well, I got a new video card for Christmas, and I had to upgrade our motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't that a nice present?
Got an ADT video card. Yeah.
That's good. That's nice of you to get a new motherboard.
I bought some new shoes. I need a whole outfit to go with it now.
So, what's the problem? That sounds good to me.
I'm having little problems with the computer, and I was wondering if it was maybe the drivers left over, because we didn't clean out the drivers.
Oh, yes. Could easily be.
Pardon?
Yeah, could easily be. In general, I recommend when you're doing something like that just to do a clean install. But if you don't want to, Kate's going to show you what you can do that's short of a clean install.
It's really easy.
I've done this, and I should say this has worked for me going from moving a hard drive, the boot drive, from one computer to the other. But it should work in principle for putting in a new motherboard.
It should.
Now, normally you'd want to do this before you put in the new motherboard. So while you're running on your old system, go to the device manager. You can do that by opening the system control panel.
Right-click on that. Oh, yeah, go to Properties. My computer, go to Properties. Open the device manager. Go in here and delete everything.
Yeah.
Now, the point, Leo made an extremely valid point. He said, make sure that you put, what did you say, put the new motherboard in.
Well, normally you would do this,
after.
and then that's the last thing you do, and then put in the new motherboard. But since it's too late for you to do that, you've got the new motherboard in. Here's the things. If you scroll down
here,
to the system devices, you'll see there actually are motherboard resources. And those, all of these things are specific to your motherboard. See, this is the Intel chipset, and that may have changed. All of these are specific. You definitely want to clear all of those out.
So just go in and delete them all.
You can literally delete them.
It'll actually plug and play. Will detect all of the drivers that you do have, or should. Okay, Wade?
Okay.
All right.
Very simple thing to do. If that fails, it might be time for a clean install.
That's true. But either one should work for you, all right?
Okay.
Make sure you take out that old video card driver, too.
Yeah, just delete all the drivers.
That's the number one problem with these installing new video cards, even with the same old motherboard, is the old video drivers lying around can often cause problems. So you might even want to go on a search and destroy mission in your system folder, your Windows system folder, trying to find those old drivers and actually physically delete them.
Well, the old video card was on the motherboard.
Oh, well there you go. But it will have its own drivers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the new motherboard and new card?
Well, I'm not sure about the new motherboard. We have a friend who sells stuff. But I got an ATI All-in-Wonder 128.
Oh, you'll enjoy that, Wade.
That's how I got on TV.
All right.
It's a great picture. It's working really well. Thank you, Wade.
Thank you for your call, Wade. Good luck. Just go into the system, into the device manager, delete everything, give that a shot. Otherwise, do a clean install. You should be set. Now, will you take us to break?
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate and Leo. Stay tuned for the complete overhaul of the ultimate gaming machine when the Screensavers continues.
Online Super Geek Challenge to learn more about your favorite toy, the computer. This week, what are the New Year's resolutions for the Native American Super Geek? Well, take the quiz and find out. I don't know. It's all at the screensaver.com.
And congratulations to Betty from Bakersfield, California.
Bakersfield Betty!
The winner of yesterday's Super Geek quiz. She got a T-shirt or a fabulous yarmulke. Either way, she's a winner with the Screensavers.
Make sure, of course, you fill out the form every day and your chance to win. Speaking of winning.
It's been over a year since we have showcased the Ultimate Gaming Machine. You know, this was the first project we ever did on Screensavers on our very first show, May 11th, 1998. Wow. Since then, gaming technology's kind of progressed.
A little.
What did we put in the first one?
Okay, the first one we had 64 meg of RAM.
That's all.
And it was PC 66 RAM.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even
66.
66.
That's right.
We were so excited about that. We were stoked on our Seagate Cheetah 8 gig hard drive.
Still got a Cheetah in this one.
That we had.
Pentium 2 300, which we later upgraded to a 4, or maybe it was a 333, which upgraded to a 400.
Something like that.
Anyway, we've really, really souped this up. This should be a lot faster.
Right when the Pentium 2 came out.
Yeah, that's right. So we were lucky to have it. Now, we have kept the case, because you know what? This is still a good case. Today we're going to show you the case, the motherboard, the processor, the RAM. But, you know, cases don't change. The technology doesn't change. There are better cases out there, but why scrap this one? We paid $159 for it, the Adtronic 7890A. What do we love about this case, Kate?
Drive bays.
Big drive bays. Lots of drive bays. Roger hates it because they're all 5 1/4-inch drive bays, so he's got to go out and get more rails. Yeah, he's getting more rails. I have rails for you, Roger.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's great. Look at all the fanage. 1, 2, 3, 4 fans plus the fan and the power supply, and lots of room for expansion, which we have done. Now, the big decision, Intel or Athlon. And we have decided to go with a Pentium. We're putting in the Intel VC820 motherboard. The 820 was one of the reasons we did this. This is the new 820 chipset, which supports Rambus. It supports UDMA66. It is really, in many ways, a much better chipset. This is a great motherboard. I'm not crazy about Intel motherboards in general. I probably would look at a third-party motherboard as soon as they're available, but right now you don't have much choice. About $146 for the motherboard. It's not a bad price.
No.
AMD or Intel? Now, let me tell you why we chose an Intel. This is an Intel Pentium 3B. Okay, that means it's a Coppermine 0.18 micron process. It has the 256K onboard full-speed cache. It's on the die. The reason I ended up now, this is a tough one, and I have to say I left you out of the loop because you were on vacation.
That's cool.
And I want to be honest with you, it's a flip of the coin. We had Athlon 800 and we had Pentium 3 800, and we went with the Pentium 3 solely because of the SSE.
3D Now is, of course, on the Athlon.
3D Now does not come anywhere near the power of SSE. SSE is the ability to do multiple things to single thing to multiple areas of memory. We are seeing results about 30% faster in some 3D rendering and a lot of gaming. So if your game takes advantage of SSE or it's a DirectX 7 game, we believe the SSE is going to make a bigger difference in 3D Now. Otherwise, the AMD chip is great. Let me tell you, we were looking at a gaming machine from Falcon, Northwest last week with an 800 megahertz AMD or 750 AMD, and it screamed. It was great. So nothing wrong with the AMD K7. I know there are a lot of people who are going to get mad at us for not using the K7, but I just have to say SSE and the 820 chipset just put us over.
All right.
Now, let me tell you, these processors aren't cheap. The AMD's about $750. This is an $800 processor, the Intel P3, $850.
Oh, man.
Okay? So it is not a cheap processor. But we never said this was going to be a cheap machine.
We didn't say this was the ultimate cheap gaming machine, did we? We said it was the ultimate gaming machine.
Let's talk about the memory that's going in there.
All right. Now, this is one of the things I think that makes it way more unique than at least much different than it was in the past.
It's got 128 megs of Rambus PC800, okay? Now, this is a 100 megahertz bus motherboard, but Rambus, because of its technology, has a lot bigger bandwidth than that. This is the Rambus stick, and look, it has a heat sink on the chips. That's how hot this is.
It's supposed to have a 1.6 gig throughput capability.
Unbelievable.
2x on the clock cycle, both on the rising and the falling edge.
It's really fast. Really fast.
Frightening.
Whether that'll make a difference, I don't know. This stick of RAM alone, are you ready?
Oh, my God. No!
$825 down the tubes!
We'll just be picking that up now.
I didn't do that on
Grace
purpose.
is like, oh!
Honestly, $825. So the processor is $850. This is $825 for the RAM. Is it worth it? No. If it were my money, no. It's not my money. It's Ultimate, right?
Well, don't they say that Rambus, do they really expect consumers to pay this money for Rambus, or do they really think it's going in for servers?
I have no idea.
Do they really expect us to pay
you
that
get
much?
Rambus in the Nintendo 64. I just can't imagine spending $800 for 128 megs of RAM.
No.
Of course, we used to. That's cheap. Like a couple of years ago.
I guess so.
Storage systems. We kept our old floppy. Actually, let me go to the hard drives first.
Okay.
This is a Quantum UDMA 33 hard drive. Why is it in there? Well, we couldn't get the SCSI drives to boot. We're still working on that. There is an advantage to putting an old Quantum drive in here. It's cheap. It's going to be the boot drive, and it's compatible with Linux, with BOS, so we don't have to worry about UDMA 66 support.
Okay.
We are going to put in these Cheetahs, and these are incredible. The fastest hard drives out there. These are the SCSI 2, Ultra SCSI 2 Cheetahs. They run 10,000 RPMs. This is an 18 gigabyte Cheetah. When you get you get these different cable in here.
Oh, it's the double pin.
This is the low voltage differential, Ultra 2 wide interface. These should be the fastest hard drives out there. So we're going to boot to the IDE, unless we can get the SCSI booting, and then go to the Windows will be on the IDE. We don't care about Windows. Our games will be on the Cheetah.
There you go.
It's not going to speed up gameplay. Frame rate's not going to change, but it'll speed up the loading of the game and the interstitials, and of course when you go from scene to scene and level to level, that'll all be much faster.
And that's really it's a pain in the butt waiting for. When you're gaming, it's true.
Floppy.
Don't
we kept
halt
the
the
same
game
old
flow.
$17 floppy. What can you say about the floppy? There's nothing ultimate about a floppy. It's just what it is.
I think we had an LS120 in this thing. No, we didn't. We did that in another
I
machine.
hate the LS120, so we didn't do that. We're not going to do that. Maybe we put a zip in here. We do have a good backup situation. First of all, let's start with the Plex Store Ultraplex 32X CD-ROM. Now, that's a cheap CD. That's the same one. We didn't upgrade that. People might say, why didn't you put the Kenwood TrueX in there? These 72X. I have a 72X at home. I notice no difference in speed. The only advantage of the TrueX technology is the drives don't spin as fast, so you don't get that helicopter about to take up sound. Now, if you're playing games, that's a good thing. And it's cheap. We got the Rocket CDR. That's our backup. This is the 8X Rocket. We're going to put in, it's SCSI. Both of these are SCSI. We're going to put in the new 12X
the Mach 12.
That's an awesome CDR, and it's actually about $299. It's actually less expensive, unbelievably, and about 50% faster. We won't talk about the DVD. Just pretend you didn't see that.
Oh, okay. It's not in yet.
Let's get an interim pricing based on
the case, motherboard,
Robo,
processor,
RAM,
drives,
Seagate, Ultra DMA, the floppy, and the CD. All together totals up $5,629.99 to 99 cents for this. Had to have that
cable.
Yep, gotta have the cable. Whoa! Oh. Now you know why we're calling it the ultimate gaming machine.
Who doesn't say it was, again, the ultimate affordable gaming
I think the main point to make is you could spend $2,000 to get a machine that's almost as fast.
Which
you don't need to spend this kind of money. We're going to do it for you.
That's right.
So check out our website at thescreensavers.com. I wrote an article that talks a little bit about all the sections of our UGM. Roger's calling it UGM Mach 2.
Son of UGM.
There's a play on words there. Mach 2, Mark 2. You figure it out. Tune in tomorrow for our choices on video, audio, and then on Wednesday, we're going to do games and controllers. It's going to be a lot of fun. UGM continues.
All right.
We'll boot this up on Wednesday. I can't wait to see how fast this is. We'll get some
live
for you. Call Colin sent us an email. He says, I've been running Analog X's Port Blocker, security application we've recommended. He says, I received a warning that an IP address was trying to log on to my computer. I wrote down the IP address, but what do I do now?
Great question.
I've received about 10 warnings from the same IP address today alone. What do you do when somebody sniffs you? The screensaver continues. We got an email from Colin. Want to know about this Analog X port blocker security program we talk about. He says somebody's been scanning his ports and he wants to know what to do about it. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between sniffing and scanning, shall we?
All right.
Just because there's terms. Port sniffing is actually more, packet sniffing is really more appropriate, is actually monitoring the traffic that's going out on the LAN.
Okay.
And actually trying to decode it.
To grab it, decode it.
Port scanning is just going out there and looking at the ports and seeing what's going on. And that's exactly what's happening, by the way, to him.
Okay.
He's being scanned. There are hundreds of hacker programs out there that are easily available. In fact,
so why don't I
got one running over there.
You wait here and I'll go here.
First, show what we've done. And if you look here, we've got the scanner there.
First, we have this one.
And that is just a program we downloaded on the internet that goes out and looks for open ports, scans for open ports, tries to find them.
Here, don't peek while I type in this IP address, guys.
Well, it's all right. You don't have to do it again, because if you look at the bottom there, you can see it's actually done it.
Yes, so now you can actually do it. Scan, boom.
And so she's scanning. And then we downloaded another program called Nuke 95, where you enter in an IP address and an open port, and you attempt to nuke it. In this case, the port's 139, which is a very common nuke port.
Right.
And the way you nuke it is either by setting in a malformed datagram or by overrunning it with too much data.
Sending it tons of data.
And it's basically a denial of service attack. So these are very simple things any, not hacker can do, really any moron can do, by simply downloading some tools off the internet. What Analog X's port blocker does is it opens these ports and monitors. And you can see, if you look at our log, that all of these ports have been accessed. The scanner actually did it. It accessed all our standard ports for email, web service, FTP, and NetBIOS, and this port blocker logged the attempt to access. Now, the question is, what do you do?
What do you do now?
So we thought we'd ask the guy who wrote this program, Mark Thompson, who is a programmer, not a hacker, a very good programmer. Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Hi, Mark.
Hey, how are you guys?
There he is on NetCam from Phoenix. Now, Mark, first of all, let me ask you a question about port blocker.
Okay.
A couple of people have sent us emails saying, hey, I'm running port blocker, and the security programs then that I run says, hey, all these ports are open.
Right.
Right.
Tell us about that. What's going on there?
Well, that's a pretty common question a lot of people have. And basically what it is there's really only one way that you can effectively secure your system, and that's short of actually disconnecting it from the net.
Right.
And that's to use a firewall.
Right.
But firewalls are really tricky to use. So the next best thing I did with a port blocker is I actually open up the port and listen to any connection.
You couldn't do that unless you opened the ports first.
Right.
Exactly.
You actually have to open them to make sure no one's connected to them.
Right.
So it doesn't mean you're vulnerable. It merely means that those ports are open to be monitored.
Right. The important distinction to make is that it listens to connections, but it doesn't accept any connections.
Right. In
Okay.
fact, if you look now
Over
at PC2
there.
where Kate tried to nuke us, you'll see the error message from the nuke program that said, connection failed, retry.
Right.
So we found the port open.
Yeah.
And then we tried to nuke the port, and your program did exactly what it should do, which is block the nuke attempt.
Right. That's exactly right.
So, Mark, once you see this log and you see this IP address, and we're actually hiding it here because we don't want to give out our IP address.
Right.
But once you see this, what do you do with all these IP addresses? What's the next step?
What do you do now?
Well, the important thing first is to understand that there's a lot of people out there that are scanning around and just kind of experimenting with these programs.
It's meaningless.
Exactly.
They're just playing.
In fact, that's one of the problems I have with people starting to become aware of security is they suddenly panic when they run something like your program.
Right.
They say, hey, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to...
But my boards are
But
open.
all it is port scanning. It goes on all the time. You enter in a range of ports. Could be a very broad range. Doesn't mean anything's happening.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but it sounds like that the email that you got, someone's definitely looking at their machine specifically. If you end up getting something more than just, if it just hits every port on your machine, I probably wouldn't be as concerned.
Because that's a scanner.
Right. But if it actively starts trying the same port over and over, then there's a very good chance that they're actively trying to get into your system.
They've got your IP address, and they're attacking you specifically.
Exactly.
So here's what I would suggest is go to Whois, type in that IP address, not to find the perpetrator, but to find his internet service provider.
Exactly.
And then mail the log to the service provider.
Right. I wrote an article for the website, so it'll be up on the screensavers, I'm sure, tonight.
Okay.
And it tells you exactly where to go and how to contact the people and give them information.
And frankly, I wouldn't expect a lot of help or service or support because most of the time they're just going to say, oh, yeah, well, he's running a scanning program. What do you want us to do?
That's why it's kind of important to make sure that you only contact them when it is something important.
Yeah. And can you save your log from the port blocker?
Yeah, it's automatically saved to a file called pblock.log.
So that's going to be the valuable thing to the ISP, the proof that, look, you see what he's doing. It's a persistent attempt to break into my machine.
Regardless of whichever program you use, the real important thing is to always keep track of what time it happens and also what IP it comes from.
Right. Because they have to match the IP address.
That's the only way they can figure out who it is that's doing it.
Right. Yeah, very important. And by the way, don't assume that just because it's that IP address, that's the guy who's doing it. It's also possible if you're a sophisticated hacker to spoof that address. And that's why it gets a little bit more complicated to punish and track this stuff down.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I really appreciate your being on. Thanks for writing Port Blocker. Check out Mark's website, analogx.com, not only for Port Blocker, but some neat news software that Mark has just written.
Always handy, always tiny.
Yeah, you do some great stuff, Mark. We appreciate it. Mark, analogx at analogx.com. If you missed anything, screensavers.com is where Mark's article is. Do read this. Don't panic, but it's good to know.
All right. Calling all third geeks. Calling all third geeks. Record your own video email. Send it to us. Instructions and your scripts are waiting at thescreensavers.com. Just click on Interact to find out more. And now, here's Spencer and family from Carmel, Indiana. Take it away.
And now more family television with the Screensavers.
Only on ZDTV.
And this is
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Take a peek up there on your screen. You'll see the preliminary results of today's web poll. So far, 52% of you say this huge merger is bad news for consumer, and 63%, and 16% of you say poor Jane. Good news is in the middle.
Poor Jane.
We've got 24 hours to vote on that. Screensavers.com.
Let's take a look at a couple of the emails that come in all the time. Here's a guy who's been watching us for quite some time now, finds the show quite exceptional. You've managed to get me hooked somehow.
All right.
Somehow. Anyway, he has a new computer complete with DVD player and hardware decoder, but he's not happy with the look of the movies on his monitor. He says it looks fine on his television. What's wrong? Well, for one thing, the television is smearing it out, so it might look just as bad on your television. You just can't see it.
Resolution's lower.
Did you get a good decoder? We recommend the Real Magic Hollywood Plus. If you got the Creative Encore decoder, we find that looks pretty smeary and pretty bad. So it might merely be a bad decoder. Or a bad movie. If all your movies look bad, though, then I'd look at the decoder.
Okay, Woody and Michelle were watching our show another evening recently and saw the Turner Plus 2 desk mic in the background.
Where's that microphone? That's that CB
prop,
microphone.
Or is it being used?
It's a prop. You know,
that beautiful one.
I bought this at a garage sale for $5.
Really?
This is a classic CB microphone. It's a wonderful microphone. And you know what? I think it still works. We need to get the wiring working here, and there should be a battery right there.
I bet Marcus could fix that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
He likes to
Breaker 19. We got us a convoy. Over.
Calling all cars.
Press this button. Isn't that fun?
That's really cool.
The Turner Plus 2. You have good eyes, Woody and Michelle.
Wow.
They saw that from a distance.
Oh, they're audio geeks. Audio geeks can see a mic from like 100 miles away.
Rob wants to know about the flip chip PGA that Intel is talking about. Well, actually, it's the FPPGA. You know, we showed on that Pentium 3 it was still on the slot 1 architecture. Right. And you said, well, they're going to give up on PPGA. No, they're not. Intel wants to get rid of the slot stuff because it's more expensive to make that cartridge.
Sure.
They can fit the whole chip on a single die now. In fact, it is on a single die in that cartridge.
Kind
of
the point.
They want to make the socket 370 PPGA. They're calling it FPPGA flip chip, and I don't know what that means, but it's not relevant. It's going to be the Pentium 3 PPGA version, socket 370 version, and it's going to start off with the low end, but eventually I think we expect all of Intel's P3s and Celerons will be in a socket 370 form factor.
All right, then we can look forward to that. Well, I guess I think we're out of time.
Are we out of time?
I don't think we have time.
Oh, well.
More questions.
That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Kate Patello. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Screensavers.
Yes. All right, let's dance.
All right. Woohoo!